So here I am with Jesse Gray. Jesse's Garage is Gray's Garage, I should say. Gray's Garage in, I always want to call it Henderson, but it's Hendersonville. Yeah, sorry, I keep thinking Henderson, Nevada, but no, Hendersonville, North Carolina, just south of Asheville. And you've been here a year and a half now, and here we are in front of his race bike. And tell us a little bit about it and your shop.
So I've been here a year and a half. I've been lucky enough to help my dad for the past 10 years at RP Cycles. And about a year and a half ago, I was able to open my own business, do a few things that my dad doesn't do. We do a little bit more engine work and suspension work that he doesn't fool with as much. And we got into racing a few years back, and when we started putting good suspension on these bikes, we realized how much you could really improve a Harley Davidson and with just suspension and just some minor add-ons here and there, and wanted to start doing it full time.
So the XP frame or platform has been around a while, and it's still a viable platform. What do you think are the upgrades, the must-have upgrades for the guy that wants to do track days, do racing, that he may not think about instead of just going for power? Where do you think the biggest improvements are made as far as lap times are concerned?
I believe the biggest single improvement we had was suspension. It's hard to learn to ride one properly without the correct suspension. And until you have a good suspension, you don't even know what the deal is. Of course, everybody wants to build a bigger motor. Everybody wants to go faster. But you'd almost venture to bet that they can't even ride it to the full potential that it is stock on the stock suspension. So I would say that would be the number one upgrade to someone just starting to get into the performance into these bikes is suspension, and then you move on from there to engine.
I noticed I do track days with my 1125, and I noticed once somebody who knows suspension got a hold of it, and I got it back, it was so much easier. I was working so much harder, but I thought it was just me, or partly was me, but I noticed not having to work as hard, it felt like I was not even going as fast, but yet my lap time was going down.
Right.
So that's with any bike.
That's with any bike. I noticed, when on the stock suspension, I felt like the other guys on the track around me could go in any lane, any position, any part of the track they wanted, inside, outside. They were passing me left and right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, how can those guys? It didn't even feel comfortable out of that one groove. It felt like I had one groove that was comfortable, and if I got inside or outside of that line, I was screwed up. It wouldn't work.
You weren't able to take advantage of the bottom end torque that these things have over
the drive, that suspension. So when we put the Penske shock on and the AK20s in the front, it was almost an immediate difference. Very little adjustments we had to make to the bike after we installed, the suspension. And but I could tell almost immediately that I could go anywhere I wanted on the track and feel comfortable. I was outside, inside. It all felt good. It felt like you were going to stick to the track. And it just felt comfortable. And until you feel comfortable,
and you're not as tired.
And you're not as tired. You're not working it as much. It goes into the corner easier. It comes out easier. You can get on the gas sooner. You can get on the brakes later. It all works.
And it's more fun, obviously.
A lot more fun the further you get up to the front.
Yeah. So it's not all about just horsepower and torque. It's the whole package.
Right. It is. We really wanted to show what we could do with a pretty stock bike. I don't have the funds like some of these guys do to, build motors and just spending money wherever they want to, So we spent money where we needed to, and eventually we built a motor. It's a mild build, relatively speaking. It's still 74 cubic inch. Got a good set of cams from Cyclorama, and Wes Brown down at Cyclorama did my heads, and fitted the cylinders and pistons for me, and makes good power. You know,
Yeah.
it's all throughout the power band. It makes power. So a lot of these race bikes, you know, and even I asked him, I said, where's it gonna cut the cam gonna come in at 3,000, 4,000? You know, I mean, we're running. I shipped 7,400 RPMs. You know, I mean, when you're shifting at 7,000 RPMs, you're only dropping to 6. You know.
Right.
So I said, hey, well, you know, where are my cams gonna come in? And he said, when you let the clutch out, you're gonna know.
Exactly.
That's what he said.
Everywhere, right?
Yeah, and it's about like that, 1,500, 1,800 RPMs. It really comes on, and so
you can stay in a higher gear than you normally would think you had to be in. You realize, wow,
yeah, you can go
power out of this corner.
You can
third instead of dropping to second.
Instead of having to, make another shift. The launches, you know, we're running against a lot of metric bikes in the lightweight twins class. The Formula 2 and heavyweight super stock. We're running with some of the BMWs, the Aprilias, Ducatis. We get some really good launches. We're really good off the line. You know, it might not be the fastest bike out there, but we're gonna make them chase it. You know.
And they're going to hear you coming, and they're going to hear you go by.
That's right. So, you know, we noticed a lot of the guys, I could be shifting into second gear, and these guys haven't even let the clutch out at first. They're still riding the clutch, trying to get this thing off the line, this metric bike, you know, off the line. And, you know, 3,500, 4,000 RPMs, you know, I dump the clutch and wheelie on out of there, you know, and grab some gears, you know. We really do good on our starts, and we've done good for the past few years racing.
So while racing, you're testing everything to its limits, and tell us how that helps your customers, and helps people who also have Buells, but they don't track them; they just ride them.
Yeah. Well, you know, these are pretty strong machines, but everything has its limit. And when we're on the track, you're pushing the limit of every component. And just like we see with this transmission, you know, when you have one failure, a clutch failure, it can lead into other issues. You know, you know, when you know where that limit's at, you know what to fix next. We know how to make things stronger and better and more reliable for the next one.
Exactly. Yeah. So testing on racing on Sunday. Sells on Monday and survives the lifetime of an owner in the real world.
Yeah. If we can make it last as long as we do on the racetrack, you know, they're pretty much indestructible on the streets, right? You know.
So here in North Carolina, it's a great motorsports enthusiast area. The whole you got South Carolina, North Carolina. You're not far from Atlanta. Lots of racetracks, lots of great riding here in the Blue Ridge Parkway and the Smoky Mountain areas. So tell us about your clients, what your clientele is, what their backgrounds are, what they bring in, and what your strengths are on different models.
What we know the most are the American motorcycles, the V-twins, you know, Harley Davidson, of course. The Buell product's been a great line of that as well. You know, I grew up on motorcycles. My grandma and grandpa met on a Harley Davidson panhead in the 50s in Miami, and you know, they're still going strong. My mom and dad are both avid motorcycle riders, so I see more Harley Davidsons than anything, you know. Of course, I've got the Buell guys, you know, from around here. Most of them are local that come to me. But I like those American bikes, those American V-twin, you know, motors. You know, just got a lot of history behind it. I've always been, you know, I grew up riding shovel heads and, you know, Trons and, you know, but then when we, you know, got a little older, while I was 18, I bought my first Buell, a 95 S2 Thunderbolt. And man, I thought it was the coolest thing ever. Had a sporty frame with a big Harley motor, and I thought that's just the best of both worlds for a young man, you know. And I hate they didn't go over like they should have. You know, I think they were well ahead of their time, you know, as far as those bikes. And even in '03 when they come out with this XB model, I think they were just years ahead of themselves, you know. We see now after, you know, Harley quit backing them in 2010, you see more of the naked style machines built by Yamaha, Suzuki, Honda. They've all got one now. But I think Harley really did a good job, and Eric Buell did a great job with this line, and they were well ahead of their time. And so we really enjoy that. You know, you get the sport bike end of the Harley world, you know, and then that leads over into that 1125 motor. I've raced one of those as well. I've got an 08 1125 that we race, and they're an excellent platform as well. You know, it's a water-cooled Rotax motor, and that ended up transforming into the EBR later down the road, which I think we'll look at a little later. You know, but Eric was a great engineer and mastermind of this whole line of motorcycles, and we just love them all.
It's a shame that they didn't, Harley at the time didn't see the potential. They always seemed to kind of hold Buell back a little bit.
Yeah.
They couldn't be too good of a bike because they didn't want to sacrifice sales maybe to the Harleys, but now they're scrambling to attract a younger crowd, the millennials, who don't necessarily care about the Harley heritage and lifestyle, and they kind of missed the boat and could have been a real contender with that market right now. But, so it's a shame for, you know, us guys. We see what they missed out on. And, keep shaking our heads. But they did produce some amazing machines, and just rowdy and pure. With the soul that other bikes just don't have.
Right.
So looking around the shop, I see a Ducati. I got Honda Shadow back here. You have a Honda Shadow back here. A BMW. What year is that one over there?
That's 74 R90, 3,500 miles on it. It's been sitting a while. We're going to try to get it running for the gentleman. We actually fired it up yesterday. Gas tank full of rust. We've got it being cleaned right now, and but we had it on a dial bottle yesterday. Got it fired up for the first time in a number of years, at least 11 years that we know of, I think. Got a few Honda projects. The Ducati over there. We service just about all makes and models, tires, brakes, batteries, oil changes on any model, and specialize with the Harley and Buell end of things.
You can see some ATV tires.
We've got some ATV tires over here in the corner that we're going to go on later this evening. Amsoil distributor. He's got same gentleman's picking up two cases of Amsoil as well. So do a little bit of everything.
And I see a lot of catalogs on the shelf. So you're a dealer for a lot of different brands. So if somebody has something on 2 to 4 wheels, you can probably get it for them. Right?
Yeah, we can get it for them. Yeah, I'm Parts Unlimited Drag Specialties dealer. Hard Drive, that's a great line with Western Power Sports. Hard Drive, the Harley end of the Western Power Sports as well. So we've got them. Amsoil dealer, Galfer, S&S, quite a few different products we offer. Work with Cyclerama down in Pinellas Park, Florida. Wes and Pam down there, they help us with our engine builds. Obviously you and Kevin and a few other people in the Buell world we work with.
So here in your shop's here in Hendersonville, North Carolina. Tell us how they can find you on social media and get a hold of you on the phone.
Yep. So Facebook, Jesse Gray or Gray's Garage, and Instagram at Gray's Garage. Got a couple phone numbers, 828-513-5055 is the shop number, or my cell number is 828-606-9783. Call anytime, leave a message. We'll get back with you as soon as we can.